All right. We're here with American actor, Panchito Gomez. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you, Bobby G, man. I appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out to Street Pulse exclusive, my brothers, and my man, the Real Mr Homicide, for inviting me. It's a pleasure, and let's just chop this shit up, brother.
All right, yeah, let's get started, man.
Let's go, bro.
So where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm Puerto Rican, raised in New York. Lived in Cali for a while. Went back to New York, came back to Cali, and now I reside in Tampa, Florida. I've raised my family out there, and I come back and forth, you know. But I'm from everywhere, but basically New York.
All right, so New York, in the building. What was your upbringing like growing up in New York?
Well, put it this way. I was a kid, we were in Puerto Rico. From Puerto Rico went to New York. And New York, you know what, it's changed so much when we were kids, bro. Like, if you see these old movies where the kids played in the fire hydrant, which is what we used to call the pumps, that's what it was. It's stick ball in the street. You know, everything was like, but just as a kid, it was like, ¿cómo se dice? Tranquilo, tú sabes. It was just smooth. Like no bad shit. You know, none of this gang. There were gangs and shit. But us as kids, we can roll around, do what we wanted. Yes, there was fucking, you know, you have your tecatos, your junkies, you have your fucking homeless back then, but it wasn't as bad. It was just, you know, to me as a kid, it was a great experience. I can never say anything bad about how I grew up. You know, there was a lot of dirt hanging around, but when it was kids and shit, nobody messed with us. You know, it's different today. You know, New York has changed a lot. You don't see. I was just in New York not too long ago, like a week ago, and you don't see what I saw when I was a kid. You know, there's no kids playing around no more, and you know, and not for the bad part. It's just changed. You know, everything's gentrified, which is fine. You know, you gotta move on. But you know, you could probably, you know, agree with me. When you were a kid growing up, compared to a kid growing up now, it was a lot different. You know, you felt safe. There was danger, but you felt safe. But New York for me, bro, that's my love. I love it. I love New York, but I won't live there no more. Sorry, New York. Too expensive, too cold. You know, I live in Florida now, so I'm used to the nice weather. I raised my family in Florida, so. But New York is good, man. You know, my career started in New York, so.
Yeah, much respect to New York.
Yes, sir.
You know, California's getting the same way. Everything's expensive. New York's the same way. It's just all the prices are going up.
Well, the cost of living everywhere, and it's understandable, but you know, because things change. We were just talking, me and Homicide were just talking about this movie yesterday. He's watched The Godfather here and there, but we were talking about money-wise and budget-wise, and he looked something up, and they did this movie with, what, $6 million, was it, Anthony? $6 million then is equivalent to $42 million today.
Right.
So, you know, shit was different, bro. You buy a little piece of gum in the bodega en el barrio ahí en Nueva York, in Spanish shop, y te costaba como cinco centavos. We say cinco chavos, but you know, I'm doing this bilingual, so if y'all don't know Spanish, better learn. Get the fucking dictionary right now. Inglés sin barreras, or Spanish sin barreras. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's, you know, LA, like I said, and then I came to LA, I think I was maybe 11 or 12. So to me, it was like a kind of culture shock. And I came to LA to work, to finish off a movie, not to live at that time. It was just me and my mom. And, you know, I didn't know about Mexicans. I didn't know about tacos. I didn't know, you know, shit. I was Latino, and that's all I knew. And I didn't even know I was Latino. I was just a person. You know, and that's where things changed later. But, you know, as you grow older, you see differences in things. And, you know, and like you said, changes. California's changed. You know, right now I live in Tampa. When I got to Tampa 20 some odd years ago, awesome, and it's still awesome. But you could see the what do you call it? The gentrification is what it's called, whatever. And it is what it is. You know, it depends on how you live your life. If you're happy, no. So if you're happy, you know, clap your hands. Basically, it sounds stupid, but you know, you always think, you know, at the end of the day, there's people that are worse off, and it's unfortunate. But always, you know, thank the good Lord for your blessings and take it from there. So you fall, you get back the fuck up.
So what was that relationship like with your parents?
My parents were the shit. My mom's still alive, God bless her. She's 85 years old. I was just with her. She's funny as shit. She's my dad's Puerto Rican, my mother's Ecuadorian. But she's as much Puerto Rican as Ecuadorian because, you know, that's all she's known since she, you know, came to the United States. And Mom was good. My dad was a trip. My dad, God bless his soul, his name was Cesar Cordova. He was one of the greatest Puerto Rican, Latino character actors of his day. You know, he started, he's actually from the original cast of West Side Story, so we're talking like 1950, whatever. You know, and he was my manager, and he was, you know, there were times we clashed, you know, when I was in my teens, because, you know, he was tough. And, you know, at that point, you're like, yo, fuck, you're embarrassed with your friends and this and that. But as you get older, you realize, yo, he did the right thing, you know? You know, both of y'all could probably think, you know how your parents say, oh, don't do this because blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, yeah, fuck that shit. But when you get to a certain age, you're like, damn, they were right, you know? You don't want to admit it at the point because you don't know. And yeah, but my parents, yo, let me tell you, my parents were good. You know, my dad was tough. My mom always had my back. Well, they both did. And my brothers and sisters can you know, appreciate this. You know, we did what we did, but Dad was it was more with me because I was the only actor, you know. And, you know, he was, like I said, he was my manager and my agent. And he made sure that at the time that it was needed, my shit was well taken care of. As far as my respect as an actor, the money that was being paid to us, more important for him that I didn't realize then was what we call billing. So for those of you that don't know about what billing is where your name comes in the titles of a TV show or of a movie. Being Latino back then, they would throw your name wherever the fuck they wanted. My dad was one of those strong dudes, and my agent, who was Italian, and it's funny because they were in Korea together. We didn't know that shit till way later. As became my agent, they became like brothers. So they made sure that shit changed. Because you're Hispanic, because, you know, even if you were the star of that TV show or that episode, they would put you with every Dick and Harry. Well, they made sure that didn't happen. They would say, okay, this is what you're going to, and Panchito Gomez as, or starring Panchito Gomez. None of it like what they used to call producer's discretion. So he fought for me, and I saw that, and, you know, there were times where it was like kind of rough for me because, you know, a lot of other actors would be, you know, Mr. Homicide was saying earlier, there's a lot of haters. Now, there were haters then. And there's haters everywhere. It's from this, you know, it goes back to the biblical days, you know? Everybody hated Jesus. Everybody hated this guy. Everybody hated that guy. Fuck it, you know, throw down, bitch. Do your thing. And that's what my father did. He was stern. He was good. And, you know, like I said, we squabbled a few, not squabbled, but, you know, we had our differences as I got older. But then I realized why he did it. So now, where I'm at is why I fight for our young generation as actors, producers, musicians. What you're doing is a blessing, bro. We didn't have that shit years ago. You know, power, brother. Don't let anybody underestimate your talent and what you're worth. Whether it's $10 or $10,000. If it's $10, make sure that $10 to them shows that you're worth those $10. You know? I don't know if that makes sense.
At what age did you get into acting?
Ooh. According to Wikipedia, no, what was it called? The other one, Google. It was 7, but I was 5 years old. My dad, like I said, my dad was in the industry, and he was doing a movie that he produced in Spanish, and one of his co-directors was working for a company called CTW at the time, which was a Children's Television Network, or Children's Television Workshop, which was Sesame Street. And this is 1972, I want to say, 71. Yeah, 71, 72. Sesame Street had just started. So they were doing this casting, and the guy tells my father, he says, yo, you know, your son be perfect for this. And my dad's, nah. And he asked me, you know, I played like a little featured, like an extra in my dad's Spanish movie. It was just me and my friends playing catch, and they happened to be filming, and they filmed it. So, you know, they cut, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I was a little kid. So I knew right then and there that that's what I wanted to do. So when the Sesame Street came out, I went and auditioned with, I want to say, from what I understand, I'm not sure, it was like 1,000 kids or some shit. It might be exaggerated. It was probably like 200. You know, back then 200 is equivalent to 2,000.
Seemed like 2,000.
Yeah, no shit. So one thing led to another. I ended up getting the part, and the thing was, it wasn't just running the regular kid, like a kid on Sesame Street. This was actually a character that they wrote. And it was a single father, and the guy that played the father that was cast already was a true legend. Proud to say that he's Latino, but even proud to say he was Puerto Rican. His name is Raul Julia. He played Gomez Adams on the Addams Family. He was one of the greatest Broadway stars ever. Man was a genius. He played Bishop Romero in the movie. I mean, he's been around. If you don't know who Raul Julia is, the you young generation, go to Google and check it out. You know who he is. He played my father. And to make a long story short, I was the first child actor, actually probably I think to this day, the only child actor that was given billing, which we're talking about credit as an actor. So I wasn't just like the kid on the, I had a character. It was actually a character. So that went from there, and from there, you know, agents, commercials, and again, 50 some odd years later, I'm here.
Wow. What was the first movie that you played a role in?
The very first feature film, we were watching this shit last night, me and Homicide, he looked it up. It was in what was the year, you remember? Like 70 something, and it was called Paco. And it was with another legend, the first Latino actor to win an Oscar. His name was Jose Ferrer. So you young guys, or you young people now, if you follow, you know, if you want to, whatever, whether it's music, entertainment, acting, look up, school yourself on your Latino past. Jose Ferrer was one of the greatest actors that ever lived as well, but he was the first Latino actor to win an Oscar. So this was how I was the star of the movie. It was called Paco, and it was shot in Colombia, bro. We started watching some of it last night, bro. I was like, yo, this shit is funny. But that was my first feature, and we shot it in South America, and I don't remember much of it, but you know, because I was a child. And then from there, I went back to New York, and then I got another feature film. I can't remember the name of it. Run for the Roses, which again I was the star of. And as a kid, you know, being Latino, it was, you know, not that they exploited children, but, you know, it was like, you know, a little Spanish kid, that's cute.
Right.
But yeah, that was it. And then, you know, it kept progressing. And then finally we moved to California, to LA. And it became TV shows and blah, 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 and so forth and so on. And then, you know, I ended up doing, what was it, the biggest thing at one point as a TV series was Hill Street Blues. You know, I guest started on Chips, Beretta, Starsky and Hutch. You guys don't know about all this shit, some of you young guys, but I know you know Bobby G. Not that he's old, but you know, from old school. A lot of stuff like that. And you know, it was hard because there weren't, like I said, there weren't that very many Latino young actors working at the time. So, you know, I can't say I was like the token Latino because there were a few of us, but I held my ground, bro. I went in there and battled with whoever it was. You know, and I didn't, you know, to this day, I don't think I was better than anybody else. Maybe it was the look, or maybe I did something different than somebody else, because half of those guys that are still around, they're still my best friends. We also battled. I remember one time I went to this audition, and some of my actor friends were like, I'll mention this. Isa Morales, Ramon Franco, Israel Harbe, and I can't remember who the other guy was. I walked into Warner Brothers for this, what was it? TJ Hooker. And I walked in, bro. And as soon as I walked in, everybody said, oh shit, Panchito's here, let's go. We know who got this job. Yo, that was so embarrassing, bro. I was like, damn, man, my niggas, bro, my brothers, come on, really? But I didn't get the part. I wound up getting the next episode, but it was like that, you know, and it's hard to say, you know, we've gone through a struggle, bro. We've gone through a struggle, and little by little, you know, we're getting there.
Yeah. So since then, you've appeared on several films: Selena, American Me, Mi Vida Loca, Tough Turf.
Damn, you took it back.
Well, yeah, we're taking it back.
There was another thing called Borderline with Charles Bronson.
Okay.
It was you know who Ed Harris is?
Of course.
Ed Harris' very first film, and what's his name? Enrique Castillo, who played Montana in Blood In, Blood Out.
Wow.
Yeah, he played a coyote.
So you take it way back.
Yeah. Oh, see.
So you've been acting for a minute now.
Well, let's just say, well, obviously you can go. I just turned 59.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it. It is what it is. I feel good. You know, the aches here and there, you know.
No, you don't look 59.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I try. I work out a little bit here and there, you know. I do the arm lifts.
24-ounce curls?
Yep.
Yeah.
Corona, medalla, modelo, and bow. I said, no, I'm kidding. Damn, it threw me off right now. Yeah, it's been rough in a sense, but, you know, it's if you look at it, I did the math. I started at 5, so we're talking like almost 50, a little over 50 some years. I'm 59, so what? 52 years, something like that. And it seems like a long time, but I mean, it sounds like a long time, but it doesn't seem that long to me. You know, I still feel good. You know, I took some time off, raised my family, you know, went back to New York, raised my family, got my 4 beautiful kids, grown now. Beautiful wife, God bless her soul. I lost my wife 2 years ago from cancer, and I know she's watching me. I got her right here.
Rest in peace.
She's right there, mi reina. And shit, I'm gonna cry right now, but anyway, I know she's watching me, and I know that she has a lot to do with why I'm here right now. She got to see my career, and she got to see some of the stuff I did, but she always wanted me to jump back into the game. And it's weird because the timing was crazy, because after she passed, that's when I got together with this young gentleman whose name is Anthony Viramontes, better known as the Real Mr Homicide. So he pretty much pulled me back out and get my feet wet again, and let's see what happens from here. Yeah, and it's been a long journey, and it's only gonna get better. You know, I feel good now. Like I said, I took that time off, and I wasn't retired, but
you were going through some things.
Yeah. You know, but not even that. Before she got sick, it was like, you know, fuck. You know, as a human being, you know, you got your family, right? So as an actor, the jobs were few and far between. So yeah, you gotta get a fucking real job. You gotta pay for your kids, you gotta pay for your house, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I ended up getting a real job, which was kind of weird because I had done that. I did it maybe once or twice for like 10 minutes. So I didn't know about the fucking workforce. So, you know, I ended up getting a job in a hotel when we went to Tampa, and I became a front desk manager that I didn't know shit about. I fucking I acted my way into that job, you know? And, you know, I work for a company now that I've been with for like 16 years on and up, but my heart is here. My heart is in the entertainment industry. It's always been and always will be. And, you know, like I said, you know, thank God that she's pushing me, and thank God for Mr. Homicide. You know, and I hate calling him that sometimes because he's like a little brother to me. And so, you know, I call him Anthony or Tony. And he's got a good friend. They call him the the dick of death. Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway, you know, he's given me a lot more umph, you know what I'm saying? And he's bringing me to people like yourself, you know, and we have this company that we're working with, a clothing line out of Oceanside, Street Dreaming. Robert, what's up, my brother? So, you know, we're working together. We're doing this film right now called The Higher Power. I mean, we'll get into that later. Let's go to your next question.
No, so what I want to touch base on is, okay, so how'd you guys meet up? How'd you guys connect? I know you were going through your thing.
With Anthony?
Yeah, with Anthony.
When my wife was sick, I got a message one time. And it was, excuse me, it was this long thing. So my name is such and such, blah, blah, you're my aunt, blah, blah. And I wanted to respond, but I was going through this shit with my wife. She was real sick at the time. She was going through chemo. And she told me, and I showed her, she was, you get in touch with it. And I said, Ma, oh, that's the last thing. So make a long story short, I didn't go through the shit, and then unfortunately she left. And then the month after she passed July 19th. August 27th, she was supposed to come with me from Tampa to LA. There was a meeting, not a meeting greet, I guess they were screening the movie American Me at what is it, La Plaza de las Culturas, was it? Somewhere like that, by Olvera Street.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to come, and my daughter told me, Pa, go, you know, Ma wanted to be there. So I come, and Anthony's aunt, his name is Vida Montes, she played my mom in American Me. And she played Esperanza. So she was there. I hadn't seen her in, 30 years since we did the movie, whatever. And I run into him briefly, and we spoke, but it didn't connect yet. So I go back to LA, and this young lady named Cristina Solis Caron, who played Baby Doll in Mi Vida Loca, she played my girlfriend in it. We've been in contact for a long time, always. I said, hey, listen, there's this kid. His name is the Real Mr Homicide, and he's doing this, and that. He's been trying to get in touch with. Can you do me a favor, and you know, whether you want to be a part of this or not, reach out to him. And I said, all right. So and then I looked at my phone. I said, bro, this is the same cat that hit me up 2 years ago. Yeah, and I forgot that I met him at the meet and greet thing for the movie. I didn't think about it because there was a shitload of people. So I said, fuck it, let me reach. So I reached out to him and we started talking, told me about the project. We hung up. So let me, think about it. We spoke again a couple months later and I said, listen, I'm going to Cali to meet with some people, blah, blah. And we met and we got deep in conversation about the film. At that point, I was like, you know what? This kid's got good vision. He's hungry, but he's starving. But he's not fucking greedy. Like, he's not gonna fucking eat your whole hamburger. He'll share that hamburger with you. To make it, sound to whoever doesn't understand what I'm trying to get to. And I could tell that he was asking me to share, I guess, my knowledge maybe, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony. But to make it a short show, we started talking, and I said, you know what? Let's see what we could do. I didn't tell him, yeah, I'm gonna be in this or not. So he started listening to me and vice versa, and he would call me and I would call him, and he would tell me about this. I said, okay, you could do it this way, blah, blah. Next thing I know, I'm involved. And he had asked me prior to that, I was thinking about, and then I said, you know what, I'm gung-ho, let's go, brother. Because you know what, at the end of the day, my time is gonna come. You got Edward Olmos' time, is gonna go Andy Garcia. We're all left our mark, but what happens after we're gone? Who else is going to take over? Unless you, como le dicen en español, si no te apoyo, te como un pollo. I don't know if you understand. Basically, if I don't fucking, if I don't back you up, then your shit's going to be done. Not only that, what's going to happen after we're done? Nobody's left. So you have to, as a Hispanic, as an Asian, as an African American, as a Anglo, you have to help out that new generation is coming up, because what's left after we're done? If nobody follows through, we're screwed. We're indigenous again. Yeah. And the kid's got a great mind, he's got a great vision, and here we are. We're doing this film now. I'm co-producing it with him, thank God, and thanks to him, and he's got great vision, like I said, and he takes heed to advice, and together we're gonna make a project that's gonna be a lot different. I won't say it's gonna crack the box offices, because we don't know that shit. God willing, it does, and if it doesn't, we did something that was positive. And we move on from there, which gives him, as his first project, that to say, fuck, man, I did this shit by myself, in a sense, because he wrote it, he's producing it, he's starring in it, he's directing it, he's shooting it. Who the fuck does that? Who the fuck does that? Let's be honest. It's hard, bro. I can barely use my cell phone to fucking do a little, you know what I'm saying? So, and he's editing on top of that as we go, and the music shit. So why not support somebody that, whether it's him, whether it's you, whether it's your son, whether it's my grandson, that's what we have to do. And if they're wrong or something, you try to not school them, but you try to educate them on. And there's a lot of people you try to educate and they're like, they don't want to take that advice. But he listens. And not only like him, there are a bunch of others that aren't coming. So this is another thing that he's showing other youngsters, bro, believe your dreams. If you want to fight, you want to be a boxer, then believe in that. People are going to tell you, no, you can't do it. You want to be a singer? If you believe in it, now, if you can't sing, that's a different problem. You're on your own. But you know what I'm saying? We have to follow through. So my generation and your generation, we're probably, you're a little younger than me, have to, feed these young cats. So what? So we nurture them to keep that going. Now, maybe I've been talking a lot, but that's how I feel about it.
That's good.
But this project is going to be really good. We got a lot of good people involved right now. This is myself. We have Angel Salazar, who played Chichi in Scarface, involved. Peter Vasquez, who played Chivo in Blood In, Blood Out. Been talking to a few people that have been my partners for a long time. My brothers, I got the OG Sen Dog involved to a certain extent. I got Esteban Oriel. And, we've been talking to a few really big people that will help us out toward the very end, And, I can't mention names only because, not because of the permission shit, but it's stuff that we keep to ourselves, You can only, how do you say, you can only say certain things because what if it falls off later? Then you look like a dick. And they could fall off. But You know, now we got you.
It seems like a very interesting film. It seems like it's gonna be huge, right? With all the actors that are involved in this.
And not only that, you know, it's funny, and I'm gonna put it to you in layman's terms because I'm gonna fuck the actors that are in it right now. The actors that are in it right now are the hood guys.
Yeah.
You know, you got Anthony, Mr. Homicide, who's a good actor, gonna be great, but he's got some of his people from the streets that are actually good actors. You know?
Yeah.
So those are the actors. Those are the guys that made the movies. We're just the names in it. And yes, we are good actors, shit, but those are the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, Chewy from the corner. You know, anybody would think, you know, he's a dope dealer and shit. Yeah, but he came into this movie and he did a great scene. Nobody knows. That's what brings out, you know, our culture. You know, it's like, man, yeah, he's a gangster, he's a, you know, ex-felon or he's a drug dealer. But yo, the kid got talent.
Yeah.
So what happens then? Once that kid figures out he's got talent, he's gonna drop all that shit. Say, I'm gonna be an actor, fuck that. I'll be a producer, fuck that. I'm gonna be a director, fuck that. And where's that coming from? The real Mr. Homicide. Because if he did it, you fucking could do it. You know, you could be the baddest motherfucker in the world. You could have killed 10 people. You know, that's between you and God. But if you have a talent, use that talent. And sometimes these kids aren't given the opportunity to express themselves. And that's one of the things he's doing.
Absolutely.
Now, I get emotional when I do shit like this because, you know,
no, it's good to show
it's hard,
emotion.
man. It's hard. It's hard because, you know what? If we don't fucking do it for ourselves, and not only for ourselves, for the youngsters. And it doesn't mean because we're Latin. You know, he could be doing this shit and it could, you know, a black kid could see this, a white kid could see this, a Chino could see this, a girl could see this. How about that? You know, I'm talking male shit. And forgive me, this code, whatever I say, goes the same for male or female, you know? You know, whatever your lifestyle it is. But if you're not given that opportunity to express your talent, whether it's drawing a picture, whether it's poetry, whether it's shooting a camera, whether it's fucking walking down the street better than somebody else, how else, you know, you're not gonna, you know, you're gonna feel like, you know, you're nobody. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't give these kids this opportunity, and that's one of the things he's doing. So as far as us being the actors of the movie, cool. But, like I said, we backing these people up. Not these people, and don't get me wrong, that was the wrong way to say it. We're backing the future up. You don't have hope, you can't cope, you go to dope, so what happens? People say nope, and I just rhymed. Now, but you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't give somebody that you know, like that, you walk down the street and you see a homeless dude, right? And you got a couple of dollars or some change, or you don't. They need some money, they need some food. You don't have it. You know what they do? When you tell them, yo, my man, I'm sorry, God bless you. That means more than them sometimes than whatever you can give them. And that's what we're doing. That make sense?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Perfect sense. Mm-hmm. So there's American Me was one of my all-time favorite movies. I grew up in that era.
That movie sucked. No.
It was a great movie.
Thank you.
Great movie. Along with that movie came a lot of controversy behind it.
Yes, sir.
A lot of controversy, but overall, it was a decent film, and it depicted the life of the Chicanos going to prison, and not only Chicanos but everybody else, right? And back in the day, that's what it was about.
Well, you know, you said something perfect. It depicted the Chicanos, but it depicted any culture.
Any culture.
It was based on Chicanos.
Yeah.
But that's any culture.
Right.
Whites, blacks, Chinese. Yeah, it was a very well made film, and I'm gonna tell you something. And I say this a lot, not because I was in the movie. Even if I was in the movie, that to me is one of the greatest gangster films made with a moralistic story. You have The Godfather, moralistic. Yeah, they kill people. Yeah, blah blah blah. But that's what they had to do. American Me, you know what they had to do. Now, Godfather was somewhat true, you know, blah, blah, blah. American Me was based on a true story. A lot of controversy happened, same shit with Blood In, Blood Out.
Right.
But then you got, you know, Scarface. You know, everybody glorifies, yeah, man, Tony Montana. But what happens? What's the moral story? You can get this far, all this money what happens? You're fucked at the end. There was a great line in Colors. One of my best friends said it. And when he said, fuck it, ain't no future in it. And if you think about it, that line itself was written by a guy named Dennis Hopper. The greatest fucking actors and directors ever. God bless his soul. When I read that script and I saw it and I was going to do that movie, I had to turn it down because I was doing something else. Gerardo Mejia played the role. And Gerardo was Rico Sabe. To this day, he's one of my good friends. When I read that line, I was like, yo, bro, this resonates with what street kids see. And not only street kids, homeless people, rich people, when they get to the point where, fuck, you're done, what's left? There's no future, fuck it, al carajo. And that's what a lot of things happen. That's why a lot of people right now don't give a shit. Not that they don't give a shit. There's a lot of mental health issues, a lot of suicide, because you know what? Like I said, rich people, black people, white people, Spanish people, it's they don't have that support. So what do they think? That's all they got left. What's left? There ain't no future in it. Or whatever, they don't give a shit. And that's what happens in the prison systems. That's what happens in society today. In politics. You know?
How did you get casted for that movie?
American Me?
Yeah.
Damn. That's a good story. I was given a script months before that, and it was called Bound by Honor.
Blood in, Blood out.
Eventually. And Edward James Olmos and I have a good relationship for many, 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 many years. I call him my godfather, but he's my mentor. You know, like right now I could be talking to you and I call him right now, he'll answer the phone, whatever, regardless. I was mad at him because there was a movie made called, at the time it was called Walking on Water. You see, I know you know your movies. Do you know what movie that was?
Walking on Water. Nothing
it's
comes
called,
up to mind.
it became Stand and Deliver.
Oh, yeah, well, obviously. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I went and fucking met with Moctezuma Esparza, who produced Selena, and still to this day a friend of mine, and Eddie. And the movie at the time was for PBS. I don't know if you remember PBS, Public Broadcasting.
Back in the day.
Yeah, before all that shit.
Reading Rainbow type shit.
Yes. Right, educational.
Right.
And that's what the movie's about. So I went in and I met with them, and I'm looking at Eddie, and I was already, you know, I've been doing Eddie since I was a kid. And there were 3 roles. There were 3 characters, or 2 characters. It was Fingerman and then the one Lou Diamond played. Or any of those characters, to be honest. So I go in and I house that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't tooting my own horn about this shit. So I went to like 3 callbacks and blah, blah, blah. There's not too much money involved at the time, so that didn't matter. Make a long story short, I didn't get any of the parts. So I'm like, damn, bro, I was pissed. How is it fucking possible? There's like 18 Latinos in the motherfucker. You ain't giving me 1 part? So Eddie calls me one time. He says, hey, Panchito. I go, what's up, Eddie? What the fuck happened, man? And he was co-producing, and he goes, don't worry about it. I go, no, that's messed up. And I kind of cried, I think. I was young. I was like, damn, I was fucking hurt. I said, don't worry, there's something coming up. Don't worry about it. I said, whatever. Years go by, bro. You know, promises. So it turns out that at that time, he already had the option for American Me. I didn't know that. He took it off. Al Pacino had the option originally. It was Universal. So Al Pacino took forever, and Martin Bregman, who was his producer, they took forever, and they lost the option. So Almost picked it up. And he already had his eyes on it because it was about a mafia. But it generally really wasn't about the Mexican mafia. It was kind of that way. It was like what do you call it, a fictional thing. So make a long story short, about 8 years later, I get the script. I'm living in Santa Ana, California. I was testing with my girlfriend, my fiance, who I love to death still, and my best friend. And I get the script, and it's called Bound by Honor. So the same day I get it, was like this fucking big, bro. I looked at the Bible, no lie. I read the first 5 pages, and I'm like, God damn, this shit is long. I said, you know, I love to read and shit, but damn, bro, this shit is long. So within 2 days, I get a call. And mind you, we didn't have cell phones at that time. Panchito. I know. Oh, Eddie, what's up? He goes, did you get it? I said, what? Did you get that package? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, did you get the script from Taylor Hackford? And then I said, yeah. He goes, all right, throw that shit away. He said, throw that shit away. I said, right. And that's when he told me about American Me. And I said, bro, Taylor Hackford offered me any fucking role I want in this movie. I didn't have to read for it. Any fucking role I wanted on Bloody Murder was mine. And of course, me, I didn't want the big star role. I wanted that one that stands out as an actor. Me as an actor, yeah, everybody wants to be the star, which is cool. But when I started reading the script, I was like, nah, man, if you're telling me any role, there's a lot of good roles. So I want that guy in between to stand out a little bit. So Eddie tells me, yo, throw that shit away. He goes, this is what I've been saving you for. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's when he threw in fucking Stand and Deliver. He goes, you remember Stand and Deliver? I go, bro, why are you bringing that shit up? He goes, this is why I saved you. I said, what do you mean you saved me? This is why I saved you. So I got the script for American Me. At that point, I was like, it's on. And so it was written for me and for Richard Coca and for Steve Wilcox. Those characters were not in the original film. Edward Olmos and Robert Young and some other guy from Universal, I think his name is Sean Daniel. They agreed to it, and we went in, I had to I went through the protocol, the casting thing, which was bullshit, didn't have to go through casting, went straight to producer. And we negotiated for a long time, and that was history.
I mean, so you get the part, right? You get the part, you play young Santana.
I had the part to begin with, I didn't know it. I mean, I knew it. But during negotiations, there were times like, fuck, man, I'm gonna lose this movie. And they just stay strong. Turn down what they're gonna offer you. There's this much money for this character, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to the point where I'm like, damn, man, I gotta fold, man. And he goes, no, not yet. And this was personal, this is between us. And I'm like, fuck. 5 times later, 6 times later, I'm like, yo, Eddie, I can't no more. He goes, shut up, keep going. So finally, when I said, I'm done, I threw my, I folded. And I got a nice amount. He calls me, he goes, so what happened? I go, I gave him, he goes, you're a dick. He goes, mijo, why? I go, he's okay, you could have got a little longer. I was like, bro, I don't want to lose the movie. You know what he told me? You would have never lost this film. Because if that happened, I would have done it for you. I wrote this for you 15 years ago, 10 years, whatever the fuck it was. I was like, wow. True story.
So you get the part, right? Mm-hmm. So what was the whole process like getting into character and playing the role of young Santana?
Believe it or not, I didn't think about it then, but once we started, I was like, wow, this is different, because I'm an actor. A lot of shit comes natural to me, right? First and foremost, I had a shitload of hair, bro. I had like a fucking ponytail. Back then, people wanted to call it a mullet, but it wasn't. I had that shit braided. I had like fucking Indio hair. So I went in, and the first part was the fucking makeup test, because Eddie's got, different facial structure. And so they try to do these stuff for, the pock marks and the blah, blah, blah. So they chopped my hair off. I'm like, fuck. I had that shit growing for like 3 years, and I was proud of that. And they wrapped it in a plastic bag, gave it to me, and he goes, fuck it, throw that shit away. I said, it's only gonna grow mold. So I'm like, damn, no, I think my ex-girlfriend still has it, I'm not sure. But the process of playing, I was basically playing 2 people. Because we were playing Santana, who was Cheyenne, the leader of the MA, and I had to do what Eddie did. So I was basically playing 2 characters at the time. So what we did was the first couple weeks, we did a lot of rehearsals for like a month. So between myself, Richard Coca, who played Young Mundo, and Steve Wilcox, who played JD, we were day in, day out for like, I want to say like 3 months before we started shooting with Eddie, with Pepe Serna, who played Mundo, and with William Forsythe, who played JD. Like, bro, we were like almost living together, right? And we were living those characters. Because Eddie's he's not a method actor, but he's like, let's do this shit right. So we would hang out all the time, and I would watch Eddie, because Eddie was actually playing Cheyenne, the real Santana. So what I had to do as a young guy, I got to see what he does to emulate him as he was younger. So that was hard for the 3 of us young actors. And like I said, it was like 3 months, and then when we started shooting, it got even better because we were so into like being each other, so to speak, There were times, bro, I am a smoker. I smoke with my left hand. I'm a southpaw. I fucking hit you with the right. Left, you fucked. No kidding. So yo fumo with my left hand, but I have to smoke with right because Eddie doesn't smoke. But in the project, Santana smoked, but he's a right hand. So that was difficult for me. Then the walk. He had a little walk. And then the voice. So it was tough. It was challenging, but it was fun. It was like wow. Like I said, I've been an actor all my life, but that was one of the times that was a little more challenging than ever.
I would imagine so. I mean, you see all these method actors, you know, that really live it, you know, and it's tough, man. You know, to get into character like that, to become that person,
and two people
at
that, yeah.
Right. So, did you live in the hood? How'd you learn the slang and all that stuff?
Well, I grew up in LA, kind of, in a sense. You know,
Okay.
and I grew up, but you know, some of my high school years was here. And then when I was with my fiance, you know, some of her family, you know, she was Chicana, and some of her family, you know, from Santa Ana, they were hood dudes. But I grew up doing that shit, you know, not grew up, but you know what I'm saying. In my years in Cali, so I studied shit. And I played, you know, I made a living playing Chicanos, or Puerto Ricans, or Indians.
Yeah.
But when it got to that point, I went to the hood, bro. I went to the hood. Even though I knew somebody, I went to the hoods in Santa Ana. I went to Hazard, hung out with some of the boys from Hazard.
Yeah, because New York versus California is a whole different lingo.
Right, but mind you, I was already living in LA, so I already knew that vibe, the different vibe.
Okay.
So I had both of them. You know, and you know, when I went to high school in Burbank, there were like 4 or 5 Chicanos or Latinos, and they were this little gang in Burbank. And they were Chicanos. I hung out with them. Don't ask me why. It was my comfortability. So I know I say, what up, ese que hubo, carnal. Started learning that. And it was not learning it, it was just habit. Like, you know, like you go, let's say you go to Africa and you're there for like a month, 2-3 months. You start speaking like them a little bit. You get their dialect. And you know, because not that you want to fit in, but that's just it. It blends with you. And that's what happened, you know. And with American Me, I'd already done stuff like that as far as those characters. Not that character, but playing, you know, a Chicano. And I'd done Walk Proud years before that with Robbie Benson. You know, I did a thing called Gangs, an after-school special that was about cholos in East LA, and that won two Emmys back in the day. And that's Gabriel Gonzalez, who played Little Sleepy in Mi Vida Loca, was the star of that with myself. And was it Raymond Cruz from Training Day and a bunch of other shit. So it wasn't like a hard thing to do to adapt that, but when it came to hood shit, and then you gotta remember, we did those characters that were raised in the 50s, so that was another hard thing to do. You know, it's like you couldn't say homie, because they didn't say that in the 50s. The cholos and the pachucos, they didn't say homie back then, or homes. If you think about it, you do your research. So I had a lot of research to do, and you know, there was a lot of mistakes here and there that Eddie would, you know, school me on. Not only him, some of the old veteranos from Hazard, they were fucking beautiful to us, bro. Let me tell you, I didn't have one bad time on that film. I mean, it was scary sometimes, I ain't gonna lie. And me being from the street too, it's a whole different street environment from East LA to Spanish Harlem or to the Boogie Down Bronx.
Why was it scary to you?
It was shot at night, you know, there was a gang fight, a gang war going on, you know, they called a truce and shit, but it was still, you know, it was a little different. You know, I'm in my environment, but I'm not. It would be the same shit if I did a movie in the Bronx back in the day.
Right.
You know? I mean, I'm from there. So you don't know who's who. You know, I could be talking to you right now and I say the wrong word, my ass is done. Or vice versa. Even though they were cool. It was just, you know, a hard movie to do because of, you know, we're doing a story about a real life organization.
Did you know that going into this movie?
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew that. But going into the movie, there was stuff that we did while we were doing the movie that was exposed later that a lot of us didn't know, you know? And, you know, I don't blame almost in a sense because, you know, I'm going to you as the head of McDonald's. And I'm going to tell you, yo, we're going to do a movie about McDonald's. But at the end of the day, I'm promoting Burger King because McDonald's was a fucking piece of shit because McDonald's sold me pickles instead of a fucking onion. Does that analogy make sense?
Yeah.
So we never knew about all that. You know, and then when it got to the Emmy, you know, they gave us a lot of props, but you know, it was sold to them in a different way. You know, and I can't say yes was right, yes is wrong, but at the end of the day, the movie's moralistic values were, this is what happens when you get to this point. Again, there's no future in it.
That was the moral of the story.
The moral of the story, correct. So, you know, this organization, McDonald's, damn, I just realized that was an M. Well, anyway, they had every reason to be upset because that's not what it was told to them. But then again, you're thinking about, dude, I'm not gonna make a movie about fucking Charles Manson, let's say. Let's say he was a cool motherfucker, and he this and that. You know, Manson's gonna know there's something wrong there. You have to tell the truth. And some of the truth was a little overexposed, and, you know, I understand their anger. But still, what did they expect? You know?
I guess there was a little too much truth.
A lot of truth, way too much truth.
And James he caught a lot of heat off that movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I heard a story that Danny Trejo even stepped in a little bit to help him out. I don't know how true that is.
That I am not. I can't say yay or nay on that. I know Danny for a long time too, and I know he had something to do with certain things. But as far as what happened there or didn't happen there, I can't attest to that because I wasn't there. And though if that was the case, that was stuff that was put behind closed doors. You know, like you know, I don't know. It's weird. And like I said, I can address it if I knew, but I can't address it because I really don't know.
Right.
I've heard that shit too. Like I said, Danny's a good dude, man. I love Danny to death, and you know we've worked with them 100 times. And him and Eddie are very close. You know, they had that little beef for a little bit, I guess, and now they're like this again. Yeah. So who's to know what's right or wrong? You know, everybody's got an opinion. Like everybody got an asshole. You know.
So what came first, American Me or Mi Vida Loca?
American Me.
Okay, so how'd you land the movie with Mi Vida Loca?
Mi Vida Loca came after American Me. There was actually, I don't, to be honest, I don't remember. All I know is that I went to this meeting.
You were already buzzing at the time.
Yeah. And between American Me, I did a movie called Saints and Sinners. So I was doing that movie, Saints and Sinners, with Damien Chappell, who played Miklo in Blood In, Blood Out. And I get this call from my agent to say, listen, this young lady wants to meet you for this movie, and there's a script. And Jacob was involved. Jacob Vargas was involved at the time. And I can't remember who else. Anyway, I go to this general meeting, and I read the script, and there was only two characters I could actually play at that point, which was Big Sleepy or El Duran. So I went in, and I met with Allison, and at the time, every Latina actress was there. It was Jennifer Lopez, it was fucking Rosie Perez, Angela Vides, all the girls that were in the movie. You fucking talking about, shit, I can't even remember who else. Wanda de Jesus. It was a chick flick. Not a chick flick, but it was basically, y'all know what Mi Vida Loca is. It's a female's version, or a female's vision. Or how do you say that? Their lifestyle as gangsters. So, a female's perspective of gang life, that's the word. So I go in, and Allison tells me, Allison Anders, I love you if you're still watching, or if you're watching. I go in and she tells me, hey, I just want to meet you, Panchito, I'm a big fan. And I go, I love your work. She did a movie called Gas, Food, and Lodging that Jacob Vargas was in. And Jacob turned me on to her when I saw this movie. I said, yo, this girl is bad. Her vision is awesome. So I go in and meet her, I said, thank you for the opportunity. And she goes, and I told her straight up, she goes, what do you think? I go, I love the script, but obviously, and at that point she already told me that Julian Reyes was going to play Big Sleepy, and that she had Jesse Borrego for El Duran. And I said, awesome, there's nothing here for me. Well, I can't play fucking one of these young cats. I'm already in my 20s, late 20s. And she says, no, but she goes, how about I write something for you? Would you come into the project? I said, I would love to, depending on what it is. But I already knew the script was good. So she told me, how about this? How about I give you a little plot line and you write the scenes? So I come in and say, I don't know, this chick wants me in this movie. 3 weeks passed, nothing. She sends me this little plot line. So what happened was there's a character named Jokerbird. It was a character. He was one of the real veteranos from Echo Park. But it was nothing like me. That dude was like 8 feet tall, skinny, and fucking crazy looking motherfucker. We became friends later, so I said, all right, cool. So I write this little thing, she writes this little thing. Turns out they started shooting one day, and I get this, back then it was like a FedEx type shit. Not even FedEx, because, you know, they didn't have fax machines, whatever they did. So I get this delivery. I'm living in Orange County, they're shooting in Echo Park. I get this envelope with like 10 scenes and a contract. Money-wise, it was whatever the fuck I wanted to a certain point. I said, I'm not gonna kill your money. But I want my billing, which is, you know, and she said, whatever the fuck you want. They were shooting, that was the first day of shooting. From that day on, it was 4 weeks shooting, I was on that set every day. The next day I was hired, made my money, blah, 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 and it went from there. Now, if you look at the movie, I'm in it like, what, 5-10 minutes, if that? But I'm in the whole movie. I'm like a glorified extra to my scene. But it was cool because, you know, she gave me that opportunity, and she said, you know, she had mentioned to me in Sony Pictures, said, yo, you know what, these guys respect you, and this is something that, you know, I know it's not a big thing for you, but thank you for coming in, and, you know, this adds to the film. And I said, well, thank you. And it was great. To me, you know, I loved it. And it was it's actually one of the proudest things I've done too. You know, believe it or not. It's a small role, but I was happy to be part of it.
I mean, if you think about it, these are iconic movies that you.
And who would have thought? Because back then nobody thought about that.
Right.
You know.
They didn't know it was gonna be that big.
It's a cult classic, iconic, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's got a following that I didn't know until much later.
To this day.
Yeah, exactly. I did a meeting with not too long ago. I was telling Anthony, Mr. Homicide, we went to Texas, and we went with, it was Jesse Borrego, who played Duran, Cristina, who played Baby Doll, and Angel Aviles, who played Side Girl, and myself. Bro, I was shocked. Yo, there was a line.
Was it a big showing?
Bro, and not to mention young ladies that weren't even born when we did the movie.
Wow.
And which is awesome. And then, you know, there's that thing. Follow up. Same thing we're doing now with the real Mr. Homicide, as far as, you know, a higher power. Move it on up. Step it up. Because once we finish the movie, 20 years from now, these young cats, his kid, who's like 3 months old now, will see this movie, and not whether he knows it's his father's or not, he'll see, or his friends will see this movie, and it'll still keep going. You know?
Do you still get recognized out there? Do people recognize you to this day? Hey, Santana, what's up?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
How do you feel when
it's good because, you know what, it goes to show that my work was worth something. And I'm not a fame guy, you know. I'm not one of those, you know, I'm a star. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, you know, I like that, but I keep to myself. You know, I keep quiet. I don't brag. And if you recognize me, you recognize me. But I'm not that one to say, oh, you know who I am. But to me, it's an honor because, you know, like even young cats today, you know, they look at me and say, fuck, I know you from somewhere. And I don't say nothing, I smile. And I say, I'm an actor. And they say, oh, yeah. That's what I say. And right there, it just tells me that my work was appreciated, that it meant something. Because if you remember me from something like 20 years ago, 10 years ago now, because like I've been out of the loop for a little while. Last thing I did, I think, was in 2008. 2009, I did CSI Miami and NYPD Blue, back to back. And then that's, you know, I was raising my kids. So to know that people recognize me still from that, from whether it's Mi Vida Loca, American Me, Tough Turf, dude, 1984, bro. I just had this girl in New York, she's like fucking 15 years old, 20 years old. The fuck you know about, like, that shit, we're talking 30 years ago. And she said that, you know, from the moment she saw that movie and she saw this Latino kid in it, that's what she wanted to do. So that gives me, you know, I thank God that, you know, he put me in that position where I can, you know, inspire somebody. And this is why I like this young man, Mr. Viramontes, the Real Mr Homicide, because he's going to inspire a lot of young actors or directors or writers, whether you're Latino or not. You know, say, coño, man, if he fucking could do it, then I can too. And it's that inspiration that shows that your work was worth what you did. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You know, you got people that want to be stars and make that money. Yes, we all do. Not be stars, but we want to be successful. But make your project mean something to somebody. Not just, but to somebody. If we hit one person out of 100, we hit our goal.
Absolutely. The American Me was released in 1992. Mm-hmm. There was a scene in there at the Evergreen Cemetery where you guys walk into this
to the crypt.
Mm-hmm. Right? And you guys do that famous scene, you know, we don't make it, carnal. We make it, we don't fake it, we just take it.
You see, I don't even remember that shit.
Right? Something like that.
No, I remember, but I don't remember exactly how it went. But yeah.
Something like that. And you were given the mundo, the little,
yes, sir,
Mi Vida Loca tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
What was that scene all about, man?
It's about the rite of passage. You know, it's about where you belong. You know, you go to high school and you're a football player. What do? You get that patch with a what do you call it? Letterman's jacket. Well, that's what the streets is about. You get that patch as a Letterman jacket. That means you're part of us, part of a family, part of a clique. And remember, back then the cliques were different. Now you got the gang. It's the same shit, but you belong to something. You know, and it's like a fraternity. You know, I didn't know much about that. I did kind of, but it makes sense. You know, this is like, dude, you know, we got your back. You know, you're part of a baseball team, then, you know, it takes a while for the rookie to get acknowledged, right? So the rookie got to make his bones, correct? Whether it's baseball, football, basketball, and say sports, the rookie has to make his bones to be accepted. And that's what that is. I think.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but it's that trust that you have it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and it's like, you know, we got your back, you got our back.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think that part played an important part in that movie. Mm-hmm. Very important. Mm-hmm. And it was really good.
Loyalty.
It was loyalty.
Loyalty.
Absolutely.
That's the word. Mm-hmm.
It was powerful. The whole movie was powerful.
Thank you. I mean, I didn't have much to do with it except as far as being an actor in it, but it was. I mean, I guess I did because, you know, what I did, you know, had an impact on people as well.
Oh, you were a main character in that movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you had something big.
Thank you, brother.
You played something big in that.
Well, now, you know, now we have this thing coming up. It's, you know, it's something that's almost equivalent to that in a different era.
Right.
You know, we got young people involved in this. We have a good brain behind it. And I keep pumping it up. You know, it might sound redundant, but Anthony Villamontes, which is also known as the Real Mr Homicide, is doing a really good job. And together with all of us, and now we have you as one on board, we're going to make something good.
It's going to happen.
We're going to make something really good. And it's almost there. We're at the point where we're almost done as far as the shooting process. You know, we have maybe like another 5-10 good scenes to finish and do. And then, you know, put the music in within the next year, by the end of the year, not this year, but the following year, before that, you guys are going to see something that's different, that hopefully you'll be proud of, and continue to how do you say, in Spanish they say, continue to apoyar. How do you say that in English? Apoyar, to
cheer on.
Yeah, there you go. So keep an eye out, a higher power.
Looking forward to that movie for sure.
Yes,
I think a lot of people are. I think it's going to be one of those movies, hopefully a cult classic, like the other ones, right?
Yes, and it's not a cult classic, a classic.
A classic in general.
A classic in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I heard a story that back in the day you ran into Tupac and Ice Cube. Can you elaborate on that story?
Yeah, I got to take a drink on this one. I was in a concert with a friend of mine. He was one of the greatest baseball agents right now. His father was one of the greatest athletes in Puerto Rico, Orlando Cepeda. So his son Orlandito was one of my best friends to this day. And he invited me to this concert at Universal. I was living in North Hollywood at the time. And the concert was a Jethro Tull. Didn't know who the fuck it was. I love music, but I knew the name, but I wasn't sure. And I had to go use the restroom. I said, already know, well, this is what happened in the concert. I told Orlandito, I said, yo, my man, I gotta go to the bathroom. We were at the pit in the bottom Universal Amphitheater at the time. There were bathrooms inside, but the only real bathrooms were in the very fucking top. So I'm walking up there, and he said, all right, bro, go ahead, do your shit. I go up there, I got my VIP pass, blah, blah, go to the bathroom. And the top section wasn't that full, and I go to the bathroom, and I go in there and handle my business. And in the stall next to me was some dude. You know, I didn't look, I'm like, it's just, you know how you in the bathroom, you say, what's up, bro, whatever. And I'm looking, and what caught me by surprise, it was an African-American dude. And this fucking dude, Jethro Tull, who's a hippie, you know, rock and roll type shit. On top of the fact that I'm Puerto Rican and don't know who the fuck the guy is, but I loved his music. I heard his music, but I didn't know who it was. So I'm in the bathroom, I look, and he's looking at me, I go, what's up, man? And he goes, what's up, brother? And he goes, oh, shit. American me, right? And I said, yeah. And then I said, oh, shit, you Cube, right? And he said, yeah, man. I said, my man, pleasure meeting you. And we're still, you know, he's taking a leak, I'm taking a leak. I'm, you know, little thing, I ain't touching your head yet. And I don't mean nigga in the bad way. Anyway, it was funny. So he looked at me, he goes, yo, bro. He said, hey, shit, it's funny. I said, yo, let me tell you, bro, you guys got down on the Boys in the Hood, right? And he said, oh, fuck Boys in the Hood. Y'all American me, y'all motherfucking smashed it. I said, well, thank you. He was, yo, man, shit, the way you killed it. No, it was Pac that said that later. Anyway, that's how we met. We were in the bathroom, so I washed my hands, he's washing his hands, he's me a hug, and I'm like, all right, cool, man, I enjoy your music, blah, blah, blah. And I'd seen him once or twice before, but we didn't know each other like that. So out the stall comes out this other dude. And he wasn't bald, just Pac had like a fucking like a fade like that. And him I saw him in Frisco one time. And I learned, and you know, you heard that voice. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm talking to Cube and I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get jumped. I don't know what the fuck. Because this other dude comes out the stall and it happened to be Pac. And he looked at me and goes, oh, and Cube says, yo, you know, this is he goes, I'm sorry, what's your name? I go, Panchito. My boys call me Panch. He goes, it's Panch, American me. He goes, what the fuck? Yo, you killed that white dude. You did your shit, boy. And I said, oh shit, Pac, what's up? And he was with Digital Underground at the time.
Yeah.
And I looked there and I said, oh shit, what's up, Pac? He goes, yeah, well, you from Jersey? He goes, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. He goes, oh shit. And I go, you know some people I know. And him and Orlando were friends. I knew that because Orlando had told me that. And Pac wasn't real big yet. So I'm with one of your boys. He goes, oh, I go Orlando Cepeda. He goes, get the fuck out of here. Let's go, man. So we all went down and we became friends from that time. Pac was a cool dude, man. Cube was good too, you know. I didn't have no problems with either one of them. And, you know, it was sad with the way Pac, you know, went. But victim of circumstances sometimes, you know. You know, you play hard, you get hit hard. And he wasn't a bad dude, you know. Like I personally think what happened was fate in a sense, because you know he pretty much knew what was going to come down eventually, but wrong place, wrong people. They're in the wrong place, wrong people. So you know, watch who you hang out with, watch who you're with. Don't let anybody tell you different. Like, oh no, we got cool, but always think ahead. You know, plan ahead.
What was your reaction when you first heard that he got shot and he was killed?
I knew it was going to happen somehow. I mean, we're all gonna die eventually, but the way that shit was boiling through, it was bound to happen, you know. And it hurt because, you know, like I said, I knew him. I didn't know him as good as I knew Biggie. Biggie and I were good friends, and that hurt more to me. But it's sad because you're talking about two musical geniuses, bro. At the end of the day, bro, they to this day, I don't think there's a lyricist. Well, no, yeah, they are, but one of the prolific lyricists, three of them are dead. Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur, Chris Rios, also known as Big Pun. Baddest lyricist, dead. Now, go to lyricists later, you got fucking the Professor, KRS-One. You know? Cali, Nipsey was bad. Now the new guys, you got fucking the Real Mr Homicide, who spits really good lyrics. And believe it or not because he's my boy, my co-producing partner or whatever, I've heard his shit, bro. It's smooth. It depends on how you rap. You know, now you got all this mumble rap, bro. Come on now. Now you talk about other lyricists, you talk about good rappers, you talk about crews. You got Cypress, my brothers. You know, you got fucking House of Pain. You know, the new guys, I don't even know who the new crews are. You know, because now it's like every man for himself. Everything is a collaboration, which is fine. But yeah, when Pac died, you know, I felt it hurt. You know, I went to Biggie's thing because, you know, obviously, you know, Pac I didn't get a chance to because I think I was already in Florida. I don't remember. But it was tough. It was tough. You know, you got these great geniuses. And you know what's funny? When you think about stuff, you see a lot of these guys get murdered or died of ODs. If you think about it, 95% of those artists went through shit. Robin Williams, comedian, OD. Fucking Heath Ledger, the Joker. You know? Recently, what's his name? The kid that just died from the Aaron Carter kid.
Oh, yeah.
Or Nick, is it Nick? Aaron Carter, you know? And you think about it, all those artists, fucking back in the day, Andy Warhol, you know, Jim Carroll, fucking Bowie. You think about it, poets and shit, they all had a problem. You know, whether it was chemical or mental or just depression that we don't know, you know, now it's depression, it's like, fuck me, you know? So what leads to that? You know, the circumstances lead to like doing drugs or being depressed, and then what do you got? You got nothing but to kill yourself or get killed. Yeah. And it sucks, man. Like all these kids that are getting killed today, all these rappers, that's, you know, to me, and you know, I might get haters for this, but this is my opinion. Right now, you motherfuckers getting killed because you're talking shit. Because you're fucking advertising that. So, I'm a gangster, yeah, okay, cool. What's your point of being a fucking rapper? Make that money, get the fuck out that game. Right? So what? Greed is doing it. But now you better than me? So what you gonna do? You gonna call me, hey, Panchito, suck my dick, motherfucker. So what am I gonna do? As a gangster, I'm gonna say, yo, suck my dick. So what's gonna happen? Now you're gonna get mad. You're gonna shoot me. You're gonna shoot me. I can't say you deserve to die, but you're looking for it. So stop that bullshit. And that's the problem. And I look into the camera to say that because it pisses me off, bro. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever the fuck it is. Stop that bullshit. That's when niggas getting killed. That's why brothers getting killed, because you're being stupid, ignorant. You're shooting videos with your guns and your coke and your drugs. And you're all right, cool. You bad, what the fuck? All right. First of all, you're gonna get arrested. That's FBI shit. Oh, it's a video. Yeah, but if you look at it, it's just real shit. Second of all, I'm mad at you. I say, yo, Bobby G, fuck you, suck my dick. So Bobby G's gonna turn around and say, yo, fuck you, Panchito, suck my dick, bitch. So what's gonna happen? We're gonna beef. I see you at the club. Yo, you talking about shit. Pat, pat, pat. Nigga, fight. Throw bones, bitch. Throw bones. That's how you do it. Old school. And then, and I hate to see now you got the ghetto out of me. And that's what pisses me off. And that's the sad part, because these hip hop stars of today, they're taking it to a whole different level. It's basically, prison shit. And I hate to put it that way. But think about it. You guys know, more than I do, because, I'm old school. But it's just fucking, it's just annoying. And it's depressing, because you know what? We're killing ourselves because I say you're a dick. Or I fucked your bitch. No. First of all, learn how to rap. Nigga, what, nigga? That ain't rap, bitch. Fucking get the marbles out your mouth. Rhyme, bitch. And make the rhyme good. Not about, I'm gonna kill this nigga, or I shot this motherfucker, I did 15 years in prison, but, soy el chingón, and man, fuck that bullshit, nigga. And I keep saying nigga, please, I apologize for that. That's just a word that I grew up in New York, and I mean brother, and I mean friend, I mean person. So if anybody takes this offensively, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. So anyway, make a long story short, it's sad.
It's becoming a problem, and we need to stop that cycle, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Minorities killing minorities is becoming a problem.
Yeah, brown on brown, black on black.
Right.
You don't see that with the white crews.
No, you don't.
I mean, you do, but it's not prominent in the press, because America is what it is. We're third world, Hispanics and blacks, and they want to see shit like that. And I mean, I may be wrong, but that's my opinion.
Home of the free, land of the brave.
Exactly.
So a lot of people don't know that you had a brother that was a professional boxer. Who's your brother?
God bless his soul. Today is November 22nd. Today makes 10 years that my brother was murdered. He was the greatest Puerto Rican, He was the greatest champion in his division. 11-time world champion. His name was Hector Macho Camacho. God bless you, Macho. I love you, brother. It's my hero. My hero.
Cold brother, man.
Yeah, you see how you breaking shit out on me twice already today.
What was
I don't
it
do
like?
that often.
What was it like growing up with Macho, man?
Macho was crazy, bro. that you want to talk about crazy? Macho was my boy. We came up at the same time, in a sense. When he became champion, I was working on a TV series called Hill Street Blues. So I was on TV every week for like 4 years, straight up, or every other week, whatever. He was becoming champion, so we were on that same level we're in the entertainment business, but in different venues of it. So we would always look for each other, and growing up Macho was different, bro. It's like people construed him as, a lot of people, even my wife, before she met him, she was like, oh man, fuck that dude, bro. He's such a fucking show off and this and that, and I don't like him. And I said, Ma, that's my brother, right? She was, I don't give a shit. Right? So that was her conception of him, and a lot of people's conception of him. Oh, perception, I'm sorry, not conception, perception of him. Because he was a showman. That was his business. He was business. So a lot of people, because he talk a lot, we say, oh yeah, but here's the difference. He talk all that shit, but he backed it up.
Right.
So the first day my wife met him, before she was my wife, I said, Ma, she gonna be my girl. He's like, all right, you good? I go, are you good? I told him, behave. He goes, fuck that shit. I said, hola. That was his word. I said, hola, me no me importa, puñeta. So I go, Ma, she goes, yeah, hey, Hector. He goes, Hector, it's cuñado. And he grabbed me, and she fell in love with him that moment. Her whole perception of him from what she saw, because that was what he did, completely. And a lot of people saw him that way. They thought he was a dick, he was short. It's business. And Macho was crazy, bro. We had a lot of great times. We as brothers, we went through certain things here and there, like every brother does. But at the end of the day, he was a good soul. Believe it or not, he was actually around amongst a lot of people, or people were around him, but he was lonely. He was a lonely. Macho was a gypsy too. He would call me all the time. And we were talking about salsa earlier. There was this man named Hector Lavoe. If you guys are out there that know salsa, Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez did a movie about him called El Cantante. So Hector, God bless his soul too, was tight with my brother, with me, and there was another cat named Frankie Ruiz, and a guy named Marvin Santiago. And I'm talking about salseros, because all of it. There was me and Macho were the youngest out of that crew, and they all died, except for me. Thank you, Lord. But they died of circumstances that were beyond them. It was a natural shit. But they were all lonely people. Macho would be like, he would call me and be like, we'd be in a hotel room when he fought. I think it was when he fought De La Hoya, and he lost. His face was all fucked up, but a lot of people didn't look. If you look at the end of the fight, De La Hoya was fucked up too. De La Hoya had he looked like the Elephant Man, and Macho looked like the other side of the Elephant Man. One had the right side of his face fucked, the other one had the left side, because Macho was left-handed. So De La Hoya's right side of the face was fucked up. Hoya was right-handed. Macho's left side was all fucked up. They went like this. So we go up to the room, and everybody's chilling, blah, blah, blah. He came up to me, he pulled me aside, he started crying. I said, what's up, bro? I go, you lost, it's all good. He goes, no, I ain't crying because of that. He goes, you see all these motherfuckers here? He goes, call Oscar. I said, what? He goes, call Oscar. Get to Oscar. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I figured that he wanted to just, talk man to man with Oscar just alone, with Oscar's people and us, and myself and the other. So I go through the lobby and I see, it was Oscar's dad, or I don't know. So I said, yo, Macho wants to talk to him. Bro, we went into a room that was they rented a room that same night just for that meeting. It was this fucking huge ass shit. So it was Macho, De La Hoya, myself, De La Hoya's people. We sat there, bro, and them two motherfuckers sat there for hours. Hours. I'm talking about hours, just talking. And you could tell they were both lonely. And that hurts, it's sad. Because, they have this fame, and, people don't realize that. And Macho was one of those guys that was the most humblest motherfucker you would ever meet. Very humble, bro. He did a lot of shit for charity, and he kept to himself. Nobody knew. Same shit with De La Hoya, same shit with Chavez, And people don't realize that, you got people that, they're your heroes and stuff, but then, you love to hate them. And that was one of the things that used to bother Mach. Is why people talking about me like that? I go, Mach, it is what it is. I said, be glad they're talking about you. Because you know what? If they didn't talk about you, you wouldn't be where you are right now. But you also back your shit up. You could be a great boxer and not talk shit and beat everybody, but you're still a great boxer. But you went beyond that. You danced. He started the costumes. But Mayweather wears today, Maramelo Paez, fucking Vinny Pazienza back in there, all the motherfuckers, they copy Mach. Mach was the first motherfucker with a skirt. No fucking jockstrap, just the belt. His fucking balls were hanging out the shit sometimes. I'm like, yo, Mach, cover the fuck up. Fuck that. So he was a pioneer in this thing. But he was lonely. And he died lonely. The way he passed is he went through his addiction problems, tried to help, and, I'm not one to judge, but, at a certain point in time, you sit there and you go, wow. And the way he went was not the way he should have gone. But that goes back to what we were talking about these rappers. That street. Live in the streets, you die in the streets. There's nothing good out there in the streets, bro. The only thing good out in the streets is daylight and fucking rain. That's it. Other than that, they ain't shit. You got traffic, you got killers, you got drugs, you got alcohol. There's nothing good in the streets. We all grew up in there. We should know. So you learn from that, hopefully. So if anything comes out of this, like I said, people might think, oh, Panchito's an actor. I grew up in the streets. I know what's up. I grew up poor. I grew up on fucking welfare, too. My mama had food stamps. I ran from the FBI when I was 5 years old because of my dad. He went through some shit. He was caught up with the wrong people, and it wasn't bad shit. It was just, back then, false testimony, whatever, and that's personal shit. But, I went through shit too. So I'm not I'm not one of those, como le dicen en español, engreído, oh, I'm spoiled. No, because I'm like, no, fuck that shit. I went through my shit too, bro. I don't brag about it, I don't talk about it, because you keep that shit to yourself. But I see struggle, you know? And if I can help you win, lose, or draw, then, you know, if I got $10 and you're fucking down and out, I'll give you 5. I'll give you 9, I'll keep 1. Maybe 2, because, you know, I need gas money. but you know what I mean. And you know, and you go back to my brother, to make a long story short, he was one of the greatest men that I've met in my life. One of the greatest men I met in life, beside my father, of course, but he was my hero, my big brother, my fucking getting me in trouble motherfucker, because I got a lot of trouble because of that bitch. Yo, Macho got me in a lot of trouble. But on the contrary, I did a lot to him too, you know? But, Macho man, God bless you, brother. May God keep you. I know you're up there with my wife, with Burnett, and with your dad, and with your mom, and my mom. Pa'lante.
Panchito, any positive message you can give to the young people that are coming up and want to become somebody, man?
Follow your dreams, man. One of the things that my friend, the Real Mr Homicide, did in his life, from what I know, in the brief time I know him, is he's following his dreams. So, there's what's the saying? Sí se puede. Believe it or not, it's weird that I just brought that up, because you can. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not good enough to do whatever you want to do. Because people will knock you. Oh, you can't do this, you know, you're from this area, oh, you don't have this. No. And you fight through that. Be positive, be good to your family, be good to yourself. Like I said, the street only brings you problems. Yeah, you're hanging out with, cool. But shy away from that. I'm still a little emotional about that.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the youngsters and whatever, you know, be positive. If you think that you want to be an artist, then go for it. If you think you want to be a politician, then go for it. Everybody's going to tell you, oh, no, I don't know. Fuck what people think. What you feel here and here, that's all that matters. You take this, and you take the one upstairs, the higher power, and follow your dream, regardless. Win, lose, or draw, whether you make it or not, that's a whole different story. But you know what? Never stop. Don't give up because, okay, okay, let me put it in a religious term, so to speak. Whether you're Catholic or not, or, you know about Jesus falling 3 times when he was carrying the cross to go to his death, right? Well, he didn't fall because he fell. He fell, he got up 3 times. You know why? Because he said, yo, if you fall down, pick yourself up and try again. Aaliyah said it. Dust yourself off and try again. You can fall 10 times. Keep going, man. Keep going. You know, never give up on what you think. And it's gonna be rough. Sometimes it could be fast, it could be good, and sometimes it could be fucking tough as shit. And you're like, fuck, you want to give up on yourself. Then at that point, you take a break. You say, okay, let me fucking, what do you call the word I'm thinking? Let me refresh, let me rebuff. Y coge ese tiempito, piensa lo que vas a hacer, y acumula tus puntos. Take your points and you say, okay, this is what I did wrong, this is what I did wrong. And go on to the next move. But don't give up. Don't give up. And don't let people tell you to give up. That's the shit. You know, you could try something and it may not come out good, but you tried it. But you did it. You run a 10K, you only did 2K. Fuck it, but you did it. You didn't do the whole thing, but you did it. You tried it. The whole point is try.
Panchito Gomez, thanks for pulling up, man. Appreciate your time.
No, my time is your time, brother. We're friends now, we're brothers, and whatever you need from me, I'm here, and I appreciate you inviting me. And you know, I appreciate the Real Mr Homicide for introducing us and letting me be a part of this what's the word I'm looking this what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here, bro. What's the dictionary?
Movie.
Yeah, not the movie. Just the whatever. You guys understand. Thank you for letting me be a part of a voice.
Yes, absolutely, man. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. Safe trip to back to Florida.
Yes, sir.
You know, and
back to hurricane time.
Yeah, exactly. But wish you thanks again for being here, man. We will meet up again.
Definitely.
And we'll do something out. We got something planned for that. But again, thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. I love hearing your story.
Thank you, brother. And thank you for your hospitality,
Yeah,
friendship,
absolutely.
and pa'lante como elefante, papi.
Yeah, you got it. Until next time.
God bless, folks.